Hey, Trent Garman here, Birmingham, Alabama, working on this how to survive and thrive in a first world police state. Of course, I'm just in the survival mode right now based on some of the difficulties I've had. This is a mural. I'm thriving in the spirit, but got some cash issues, primarily because of our court system. But that's a mural that speaks to me about every day, because I didn't realize the power of the executive branch so much and the need for what we refer to as a healthy separation. Those are all our presidents here of the probably preceding X number of years, clearly 3 administrations, Biden, Trump, and Obama refereeing. And it's depicting what we see a lot of times in the type of two-party system that we've been limited to, which I think has caused much of this inefficiency, and a form of federal encroachment whereby local counties have had their governmental subsidiarity, the right to rule at the most basic fundamental level, encroached by federal overreach and many times unnecessary. And I wouldn't just call them duplicate, because there's multiple federal departments that do the same thing. And I found myself in a web of state domestic cases and also traffic issues that resulted in then public order criminal charges that have exposed the near impossibility for certain class systems, because it's not about being focused on one particular person per se or a whole group. If you're seeking to do equal protection and due process, what you're looking at is the law first, and then you apply it in its most general proper application using the most specific protections and respect for that person's individual civil liberties, which that goes back to the class argument. So I think that what we see in our nation now is a failed federal state, an absolute overreach, and even illegal indictments of Donald Trump because of this analogized kind of there. If you can see the analogy from the mural of boxing that just continues to go on in our two-party American system. But let us not be fooled. America, we can survive on a day-to-day basis and thrive in the spirit, but if we believe God is going to bless our country, then we are foolish unless we repent, both the Democrats and the Republicans. Republicans steal like the devil many times through corporations, excessive means through which they regulate and control, support of industries that play on the poor because of wage discrepancies. Because greed manifested in the heart is really theft, just awaiting action. It's taking something from someone that you're not due. And yet the same on the other hand occurs with the Democrats, or from the killing perspective, which is the stealing of life, and oftentimes natural purpose because of the perversion of this gender identity disorder. These acronyms and scientific medical processes whereby a boy changes himself to be a little girl, thus stealing their identity. So surviving and thriving in a first world police state, I think, is something that can only occur if we're dependent and relying on God. If we're willing to take some punches, I think, as depicted in that mural, look like both Biden and Trump were getting the hell beat out of each other. And I think also even pray for those who were in opposition to you. Because the breakthroughs I've had, I got a hearing set for tomorrow in a case where I'm due a significant fee. I've got enough fees out there due to me. My goodness gracious. Case is dismissed. Bought multiple houses for my kids. Just the fees that are due right now would be able to position me for a nice vehicle to give to my ex and nice investment equipment, but it's not being released because of greed, which is a form of theft. So yeah, I've took on an audit, if you will. I am auditing myself compared to the 10 Commandments every day. And I began to audit the legal system about 4.5 years ago, and I continue to fight them tooth and nail, wherein any of my civil rights constitutional bubble, sacred guarded spaces are encroached on, and I find that to be continuing. So my recommendation to Biden, Trump, any political opponents is pray for your opponent. Realize they're not the enemy. These are spiritual forces. Politics and principles are higher and transcend men and women because they last beyond the duration of our life. So peace be with you. Have faith in God. That's the way to survive and spiritually thrive in the first world police state.